Okay, my sermon title this morning is Expressing Gratitude. Okay. Gratitude is really important. Please, who wants their lives to become better? To be more successful? To be happier?
Lots of money.
Okay. You want to see God succeed, right?
Yes.
Then listen carefully, okay? Gratitude is really important. Even just from a practical viewpoint, okay? Let's ask a question here. What is gratitude? Have you thought about that? Did you ever sit down and kind of stop and say to yourself, what is gratitude? A lot of people think gratitude is an emotion. How many think gratitude is an emotion? Oh, 1, 2, 3. A few people. Interesting. I thought more would raise your hands. Actually, gratitude is not an emotion. In the field of emotion, there's happiness, sadness, anger. There can be excitement, expectation. There's different, fundamental emotions. But gratitude is not an emotion. But he is the professor of psychology at University of California, Davis. He wrote a book called Thanks. And he did an extensive study, scientific study on gratitude. And one experiment, he had 300 people, and they each would keep a journal. At the end of the day, they'd write down something. And 100 of them wrote down something they're grateful for. They had to think of something they're grateful for. Okay? The second group had to write down something that they were unhappy with. Okay? Some complaint or something they're unhappy with. And the third group could write about whatever they wanted to. They could write anything they want. Okay? And the results of this study, it was remarkable. The people who wrote down that they're grateful for something, their quality of life and their level of happiness was, double that of any other person from the other two groups. Okay? And then he did a second study on gratitude, where he just had people write down 3 things they're grateful for every night. They kept a gratitude journal. Okay? And they did this, and then when they compared this to other groups, their degree of happiness increased above others within 1 week. Okay? And then after 1 month, it went up another 5% compared to other people. After 6 months, it went up 9% compared to other people. So just by making effort to think about what we're grateful for and then writing it down, it made such a huge difference in people's lives over time. So if we want to be happier, if we want to feel better about life and just, to prosper in all the things that we do, gratitude is one way to do that. Okay? So let's think about gratitude. Gratitude is when, first of all, someone does something that enables your personal need or desire to be fulfilled. That's where it starts. Someone does something, whether you have no money and they help you get money, or you're thirsty and they help you quench your thirst, or you're lonely and they provide some solution to your loneliness. But there's some personal need you have, and someone somehow fulfills that need, okay? And that causes you to what? You feel good or you feel happy in your heart. That's the emotion, okay? But that's not gratitude yet, okay? That's the natural emotion of happiness. Like, you're dying of starvation, and then you find food, right? Or someone provides you with food, and you feel happy. Wow, okay? I'm not going to die. I'm going to live. There's food, okay? Then gratitude is what? Gratitude is the connection of heart that you make with that someone. Okay? Whoever it is that helped you out, whoever it is that enabled you to fulfill that desire or fulfill that need, you make a connection of heart with that person. Okay? the feeling that compels you to do something beautiful for them. Okay? That's gratitude. Something makes you happy or improves your life, and then you connect in your heart with that someone, and then you feel compelled, oh, I want to return something. And that thing you're returning is called beauty. And it could be words, it could be just, thank you so much that you gave me this. You gave me this love, you gave me this food, you bought me a new suit, whatever it might be. But you feel compelled then, and you express that to that person. So gratitude is an expression. It's an actual act of giving to another person. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so that's the main point I want to make here, is that this is what gratitude is. This is from the Divine Principle. That's our kind of basic text, right? And this is from the first chapter. And it says, when two entities, discrete manifestation of God's dual characteristics. Right? So in the Divine Principle, God has dual characteristics, such as male and female, right? So when two entities, which are discrete expressions of like masculine and feminine, like a man and a woman, for example, okay? When they form a common base and seek to unite as a third object partner to God. So when that man and woman seek to unite, they give and take, they fall in love, and they unite, they become this third position, or the third object partner to God, right? They'll engage in give and take action. In accomplishing this, the emotional force that the subject partner gives to the object partner is called love, right? And the emotional force that the object partner returns to the subject partner is called beauty. So this is very important. We are created to have this relationship where one gives, right? One initiates, and then the other returns something, and that's called beauty. So when that subject partner gives to you love, or gives to you something that you need or you desire, and it makes you feel good, right? Then it's very important that you return that and you express beauty, right? And one of the best ways to express beauty, or at least a beginning point, is to express gratitude, right? Oh, thank you for loving me, okay? And in light of Reverend Sudo's topic last Sunday, right? Remember Reverend Sudo's topic last Sunday? The duty of, of gratitude, right? What did I say? Reverend Sudo. Who knows Reverend Sudo? There's just a small difference between Reverend Sudo and Reverend Du. One's Japanese, one's Korean. One's a little taller and young, one's short and old. Besides that, they're almost the same. Yeah, I'm sorry. Last Sunday, Reverend Du gave us a sermon about the duty, right? That you have this responsibility to do something. And that's what gratitude is. Like, you can feel happy, but then you've got to express that. Even if it's like in the experiment this guy did is, they just wrote it down, right? They wrote it down. So it's not very much, but they're doing something. And they're writing down, oh, I'm thankful for this, right? So you have to do something to be beautiful. So I know the song this morning was, I'm waiting for something beautiful to touch me. But we need to do something to express that beauty. All right? Okay, here's a painting. It's actually a famous painting. I don't know if you've seen this before. But this comes from a biblical passage. And I'm going to read the biblical passage, okay? It's from Luke chapter 17. Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy, Everyone understands leprosy? It's a terrible disease, right? Met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw that he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Rise and go, for your faith has made you well." Okay. So this is, I believe, an important story. So what is gratitude? Don't you think, so Jesus is healing these people, and they all run off. They're so happy. Whoa, I'm healed. My life has been changed. I'm so happy, right? Okay. But it's the one who stopped and decided, oh, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to give thanks to this person, Jesus. If you were Jesus, wouldn't that be beautiful? If you invested, and when he healed people, it wasn't so easy to heal people. He lets out his secret one time when his disciples asked him, "How were you able to heal that boy?" It was a boy who had fits, And then Jesus said, "This takes prayer and fasting." Right? So it means unknown to people behind the scenes, Jesus is making these conditions, difficult conditions, right? Sacrificial. He's paying indemnity behind the scenes so that he can do these works. So imagine you are going through so much sacrifice for the sake of this person, these people. Then wouldn't you feel like, oh, if someone came back and said thank you, wouldn't that make you happy? That's called beauty. When you come back and you make effort to express that gratitude, that's called beauty. Okay? And that's what gratitude is. So gratitude has to be expressed. Okay? So in our life, we have to think about this point. So think about it. In your family, what will make your family happy? Yeah? What would be beautiful to, for example, your parents? Maybe, on Thanksgiving, you give them a call. "Hey, Mom, thank you so much. You gave birth to me. I'm really grateful." Right? Wouldn't that make Mom happy? If you're a mother here, how many would be happy? Okay. Yeah. You might even be more happy if they came home and they've cooked a meal for you and they took care of you, right? So we have to think, what would make my parents happy? What would be something beautiful to them? We have to think about that between myself and my spouse. What's beautiful to Lydia? What will make her happy? See, the problem is, because of the fall, we're very self-centered. And we think that I know what that other person needs to be happy. And that's the mistake. Beauty is not for you. Beauty is for the person who gave you love. One time I was in Arizona as a state leader, years ago, back in 1974. And a woman, an elder of our movement, came to visit. And so, we're thinking what kind of gift we could give to her. Because she spent about 6 weeks with us, investing in us, and she was going to go on to another place. So we thought, let's give her a gift. And so I had an idea in my mind what I liked. And then one sister stopped me and said, "Andy, that's what you think. You think she'll like that. But why don't you make effort to find out what she wants?" So then I asked her, "Well, do you know?" And then she says, "Yes, once we were in some Indian place, and she said she really liked this particular kind of jewelry." So I said, "Oh, okay." So we went, and that's what we got for her. And she was so happy, right? And I realized if I got what I thought would make her happy, myself, it would not have been beautiful to her, right? So our tendency is, because of the fall, is we look at everything through my own perspective. So to be beautiful, you have to stop and make effort to think about that person. What do they really want? And what would make them happy? So whether it's your parents, your spouse, your children. Each of our children are different, aren't they? Those who have children. They're each unique and special. And for each of them, beauty is going to be something different. Expressing gratitude to our community. We're a community here, right? I'm just so grateful that you're all here. I know behind each one of you there's a long history going back generations that allows you to be here. So you're really precious. So we need to think as a community, what can I do to be beautiful in this community? That's expressing gratitude. Maybe coming early to help, Reverend Du fix up the chairs. Just attending. I think, Reverend Du, I know every Sunday he looks out, how many are here, and I'm sure his heart is like, just by coming on Sunday is an act of beauty in the eyes of Reverend and Mrs. Du, I'm sure, right? And of course, we make our offerings, right? We offer what we can from our financial sources to support our community. That's an act of gratitude, right? And then there's expressing gratitude to our nation and the world. So at the end of this, I asked someone to sing America the Beautiful. We've been given a lot by this country. I'm not a Native American, my ancestors came from somewhere. Most of us here, our ancestors came from somewhere. And yet we have this place where we have freedom, where you can work hard and you can make results, where we can gather the way we gather here and speak what we believe in our hearts. And a lot of people gave their lives for that to be possible. To end slavery in the Civil War, hundreds of thousands of young men gave their lives. So we have to think, how can I become beautiful to my nation? And how can I help my nation find its way to God, right? To God's path. Yeah. So I want to encourage everyone, you can make your life much better if you express gratitude. You might even, after I read this, the study that was done, I thought, maybe I should keep a great gratitude journal near my bed. That probably would work, right? Because no matter how upset you are, at the end of the day, if you have to stop and think of 3 things you're grateful for, then you can't be too upset, right? When you finally go to bed, go to sleep, if you found 3 things you're grateful for. So as we leave today, let's think about expressing beauty. And the best way to do that, one of the good ways, is through gratitude, expressing our gratitude, not only in words, but in the actions that we do. And then ultimately, I know true parents, to be beautiful in front of true parents, is to love this world and to bring people to God's heart. And I know all of us are trying in our hearts to find how can we accomplish that, right? That's our challenge, each of us. Okay, so I'll stop here and
lead us in singing America the Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves are gray, for purple mountain majesties above a fruited prey. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea, oh beautiful, for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. reign divine. America, America, God shake grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining